Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is January 16th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery here. You can see the storm still raging across California here, especially across central California, the Sierra Nevada. Very intense snowfall rates have been occurring here and continue to do so. There's also been some pretty good amounts across some of the lower valley areas. Some urban flooding warnings were going on there, and you can see there's still some precipitation across Southern California, really slamming into that terrain there east of San Diego and Los Angeles as we speak. And then we're going to bring some pretty chilly air in across the state. We'll look at some of those temperatures as well. So looking at the last 168 hours, you can see these extremely heavy precipitation totals along the coastline all the way down through Southern California. Look towards the hills of Santa Barbara, up over a foot for some locations there. Big amounts across the Sierra Nevada coastal range all the way down through the Los Angeles metro area even there. So nice diagram there. Now looking at this, if you're traveling on eastbound, watch out if you go off towards Reno, Carson City out there, as the valley floors are expected to get some snowfall there. So once you get out of the mountains, you might not get completely out of the snowfall there. So nice graphic there from the National Weather Service, Reno. This is looking at California reported landslides, January 2023 atmospheric river. You can see the Bay Area kind of highlighted there down towards Santa Cruz, including Southern California, Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara, up towards San Luis Obispo there. So, yeah, we did have some landslide activity. You probably saw a lot of the pictures if you were looking out there on social media as well. And look at down towards Southern California. Watch out for the hazardous seas and high surf through Tuesday here. National Weather Service Los Angeles graphic here. So just a heads up for that. It's going to be breezy conditions on through the day today and some fairly abnormally large wave heights down there. Now, looking here, this is for the Sierra Nevada. Additional snow accumulations, 1 to 3 feet, winds gusting as high as 60. So this is still ongoing across the Sierra Nevada. We're almost out of this storm system here, even though there's going to be another frontal system that brings another quick shot of snow across the Sierras. Just a heads up, you might want to put off travel until you can if you could do it tomorrow, would be a lot better here as there's additional snowfall occurring. This is the state of California, 80-meter wind speed here on the NAM 3KM high-resolution model. You can see these winds continuing on through late this morning and afternoon across the Sierras, some of the higher terrain here through Southern California as well. Even the beaches are going to get going to remain pretty gusty here through the day today, and you'll see it start to wane as we start to go on in through Tuesday here. So it might be a better day to travel across the Sierras if you want to go out across Southern California there as we start to relax these pressure gradients across the state. Next frontal system is out here, though. It starts to impact Northern California here as we go through Wednesday morning here. It's not a bad front. It's got moderate impacts with it, but it's going to be fairly progressive. It's not going to hang up like an atmospheric river across the area, but some of these areas are pretty saturated here, so it could cause some nuisance flooding. Now, looking at apparent temperature down there, this takes wind chill into account here. Let's put this into motion. You can see as we go through the day today, not really warming up too much across the Southland here. As you can see, temperatures into the low 50s there, and watch what happens when we go to the overnight hours here on in through Tuesday. I want to look at some of these chilly temperatures, especially across the higher terrain, but the Los Angeles metro, it's going to feel like mid 40s. Then watch what happens as we go on in through the morning on Wednesday. Look at this. There's some wind chill factors down into the 30s here across the Los Angeles metro. I just had to point this out here. So heads up for that. The parkas are going to be out. Get your big jackets out if you've got any down there across Southern California. Now taking a look here, this is more of a wide view. This is minimum 24-hour minimum temperatures here. So you can see as we scroll through here, look at LA down to 40, Riverside 39 degrees. I think the record low was around 35 down there. So it's going to be very cold down across Southern California here. And you can see not much warmer through the valley areas. Fresno getting down to 43 as well. And of course, the higher terrain going to be downright pretty frigid here by California standards. Now looking at Northern California here as well. Again, we're looking at 24-hour minimum temperature here. You can see Chico getting all the way down to freezing there. Sacramento to 40. Look at San Fran down to the lower 40s as well. So pretty chilly across the region here. Now taking a look at this precipitation moving up. I'll click off of that. We'll look at the precipitation here now going through the area. You can see this precipitation starting to wane here as we go on in through tonight, shown there. Some residual precipitation happening on in through tonight into tomorrow morning. But for the most part, that's the last main system impacting California. We keep going on into the future here a little bit, and you can see the next frontal system start to come down. It's got some moderate rain with it there. It's got some nuisance flooding here, as I mentioned, but it should be fairly progressive here, and it will bring another little round of snowfall here for the Sierra Nevada also. Now, this is looking at wave heights. This is last night's European run, and you can see the bigger wave heights moving down during the day today through Southern California here. There goes the next frontal system, bringing a moderate swell down the coastline here. But then you can see we start to get a break here as we go through Friday and Saturday here across California. And we're going to get a nice break across the area here as well. Maybe a north swell coming down here as we go through later the weekend here, but not too big of a deal, as most of that should stay off the coastline for the most part. But then we're going to get some breaks. But through the extended, it looks like we might turn back to a more busy pattern here for California. So we'll continue to watch that as we go. This was Los Angeles. You can see some gusts today up in the 30s. And it's going to be pretty chilly out there, so heads up for that brisk wind out there and those big waves along the coastline anyway. San Francisco, you see breezy conditions existing on in through tonight. This is San Diego. Their best winds probably occurring this morning here. Look at these gusts well up into the 40s and mid-40s possibly down there. Fairly unusual for down there towards San Diego here with the storm system as it starts to move out of the area later today. Big Bear City Airport here. Look at the higher terrain here, gusting up into the 50s overnight and through this morning here. You probably know about this if you're out there in the backcountry, higher terrain. And this Lake Tahoe one shows you that next frontal system as it rolls in through Wednesday night, Thursday morning here. Some gusty winds, nothing too crazy though. Now we're going to look at the extended here for a moment. Look at the GFS. There goes the system now. Then the next one that kind of clips Northern California with that frontal system brings some additional snowfall down through the Sierra Nevada here. Kind of sets up shop across the southwest. Pretty chilly system there. But the ridging does build across a lot of the west coast of North America here. And we're going to get a break. But then on through the extended area, got kind of an interesting pattern here as the ridge retrogrades back across the Gulf of Alaska. And it's going to allow for some colder air to move down. And this starts to bring some more potential systems down through California here towards the end of January. And this is what we're going to be watching here as we go day by day here into the extended forecast. Kind of a classic pattern that brings cold weather into the Pacific Northwest and can bring cold weather all the way down through California in a setup shown as this. And now this is looking at the same thing, but the European model. And if I didn't mention it before, we're looking at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, general trough and ridge position. So here we go with that first storm. Second frontal system moves through, ridge builds, gives us a break across the state as we go here. And this is actually a 06Z. So let me back up to the 0Z run here. This one goes out at 360 hours. And you can see this ridge build up over the area there, but you can start to see some of these troughs starting to come down in the 250 plus hour range. The ridge setting up over the Gulf of Alaska, allowing systems to pinwheel on the backside of the ridge down through California here towards the end of January. So something to watch for now that may bring multiple rounds of precipitation to California again, but this does not look like the severe drenching atmospheric river types so far. It's got more of a northerly dry flow to it, but it could pick up some moisture and bring some systems through the region. We'll just continue to watch that for now. This is the day one excessive rainfall outlook, kind of ongoing right now across some of the foothills of the Sierras here and for Southern California as that system continues to train over the area, especially for the higher terrain through Southern California there. That day one excessive rainfall outlook should be expiring as we go on into tomorrow and the following day, though. So that should be out of the region by tomorrow. Now, this is day 1 through 3 overall winter storm impacts. We're still dealing with some pretty major conditions across major storm impacts across some of the Sierra Nevada here. This would be day 1 here. Day 2, not bad. So if you can wait to travel till tomorrow would be better. But day 3, heads up, just a heads up here as that frontal system moves through. It's going to cause a brief period of some minor to moderate impacts across some of the higher terrain as well. Now looking at here, total snow Kuchera, you can see some additional snowfall building up as you go through the day today, Monday here. And then the next system will kind of come down out of the northwest. You can see that starting to pop up there. That might bring some snow across the Siskiyous up here. Watch out along I-5 going northbound out of California as well. 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook here. Look at this bullseye. We're going to get a nice break here as we go on in through probably January 25th. But after that, it starts to look interesting again. So we'll continue to watch that. 8 to 14 day, you can see they've kind of relaxed this below average signal here across California a bit as we start to get out towards January 29th here, just because those systems might start to return. Notice it's above average precipitation out here for Arizona, New Mexico, portions of Utah, Colorado. And so maybe we'll bring some systems down there. It looks like troughing is going to remain over portions of the southwest USA over the next week or so. This is looking at the SNOTEL. Kind of shows you a percentage of average snow water equivalent across the Sierras. And a lot of places are doing really well. Most areas are well up over 200%. Some areas 400% normal snow water equivalent. So the very good news here across much of the state as far as snowfall across the higher terrain. Now, this is looking at sea surface temperature anomalies. I wanted to show you guys this. We looked at this in the live chat last night, and you can see La Nina's still in charge here, but look at these warm waters coming up along the coast of South America shown there. We are most likely headed towards neutral or El Nino conditions as we go through this year towards next fall and next winter here. And a lot of you know that that means generally wetter than normal conditions here across the state of California. Once we build up these sea surface temperatures here, the water is warmer and we cause more of a gradient that allows the jet stream to move into California here as we go in through the fall and next winter potentially. So La Nina probably on its way out. Had a pretty good run there, 3 seasons of La Nina conditions here, but it looks like the warm water is returning across the equatorial Pacific. Now looking at weeks 3 to 4, this goes all the way out through February 10th, and you can see that signal is there for below average temperatures as we go on in through February 10th. This is the same period here, but precipitation, and notice California is still in the above average precipitation outlook here. So we'll see how that trends as we go on into the future. And here we're now looking at the subscriber rate of the channel, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. I may change the name eventually to something to have to do with West Coast North America. We'll see how that goes in the future there. But anyway, thanks for everybody for getting us over 30,000 subscribers. You can see if we go back to October, we were down just past, actually this is December 19th, 15,000. And now we've almost doubled that here by January 16th in 1 month. So thank you everybody for signing up here. We're going to get the word out to a lot of people about what's coming up here in the weather. We'll continue to do these live streams as the weather remains active here across the West Coast of North America. And I will continue to cover certain areas across the rest of the country as well as things get busy or whatnot. My home is the Pacific Northwest, but still, I lived in California for some time. I've got friends down there as well, so I like to cover California also. So I'll continue to do so on into the future when the weather remains active. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, tell your friends and family, and we'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then.